All eyes on Rafah. An image calling for people to pay attention to Israel's war in Gaza has drawn millions of shares on Instagram. The image depicts tents in a camp arranged to spell out All Eyes on Rafah, an area in the south of Gaza filled with refugee tent camps. After an Israeli strike set tent camps on fire in Rafah, killing 45 Palestinians, most of them women, children and the elderly, there is a renewed push on social media to highlight the plight of Gaza. All eyes on Rafah is a phrase that refers to the ongoing genocide in this Gazan city. The phrase is trending on social media as global support pours in for Palestinians affected by relentless Israeli strikes. The phrase is meant to urge bystanders to not look away from what's happening in Rafah, where as many as 1.4 million people are sheltering after fleeing from violent fighting elsewhere in Gaza, even as Israel continues its offensive. The phrase has picked up steam as a call for awareness of the ongoing war. The image has been shared primarily through Instagram's Stories feature, with influencers, athletes and celebrities posting the image. Several celebrities have also shared support messages with the hashtag All Eyes on Rafah. The slogan appears to have stemmed from a comment by Rick Peepercorn, a World Health Organization official who in February said all eyes are on Rafah, days after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered an evacuation plan for the city ahead of a planned ground invasion to eliminate what Netanyahu claimed are the last remaining strongholds of Hamas. Pro-Palestinian activism on social media has surged at various points since Israel began its assault on Gaza in October 2023. Pro-Israel social media activity has also spiked at times, sparked most recently by university campus protests in the US. The All Eyes on Rafah image does not portray the violence actually occurring on ground. Other recent posts after the May 26th tent camp fire showing burnt bodies and grievously injured people were removed because their graphic nature violated the policies of platforms like Instagram. But just this image drives home the reality of millions of Palestinians living in tightly packed tents, not knowing whether they're going to be dead or alive in the next moment as Israeli troops continue to pound the densely packed city from the air and on the ground. The UN's top court had ordered Israel to stop its offensive in Rafah, but it has fallen on deaf ears. The deadly fire that happened in the tent camp was just 2 days after the International Court of Justice's order. Israel claimed it was targeting a Hamas compound and a secondary spark caused the blaze. Netanyahu called it a tragic accident, but in the same breath, he vowed to continue his fight against Hamas in Rafah. The US, which is Israel's closest ally, said the Rafah incident does not cross any of its red lines. Barely 24 hours after the fire, an unrepentant Israel struck another camp for displaced Palestinians in Rafah and killed nearly 40 civilians. Israeli tanks were also seen rolling into the heart of the city, sending further panic on the ground. More than 35,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza since the war began. More than 1 million Palestinians have fled Rafah since Israel ordered the evacuation of the city. Most of those who have fled had already been displaced in the war between Israel and Hamas. With no safe place left and the future getting bleaker by the day, the world's eyes need to be on Rafah.